afternoon. I'm Shania, and this is One News Now. The Food and Drug Administration has granted an emergency use authorization to Russia's Sputnik Light vaccine. FDA Director General Eric Domingo said that Gamaleya's one-dose vaccine was given the green light last Friday. It will be used on vaccinees aged 18 and above. The Russian Direct Investment Fund said Sputnik Light has an efficacy rate of 79.4% against COVID-19. It requires a cold storage temperature of 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Malacanang confirms that the proposed national budget for 2022 has been submitted to Congress. Maricel Halili joins us live from Mandaluyong City for the details. Hi, Mase. How much is this proposed budget? Again, it's over 5 trillion, I know. And what is the timeline for its final approval?
Yeah, Sean. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, like what you've said, confirmed that this morning the Budget Department has already submitted the more than 5 trillion peso proposed 2022 national budget before the Congress. They have met the deadline provided by the Constitution that the DBM has to submit the proposed national budget within 30 days from the State of the Nation address of the President. We hope that both houses of Congress can submit or can pass the proposed national budget before the end of the year for the President to sign, because we want to avoid a reenacted budget come 2022, especially now that there are special allocations for the COVID response. That includes the 45 billion pesos budget for the booster shots. Malacanang said that their target is to start the procurement of booster shots by January of next year.
All right, since we're on the topic of vaccination, Mase, were the NCR mayors able to achieve their target of vaccinating 4 million people across the NCR during the ECQ period?
Yeah, Sean. Actually, their target, to be specific, is to achieve at least 50% of the eligible population of Metro Manila to be inoculated by the end of August. For now, they have already achieved 43% of the eligible population of NCR. It's actually a good progress, considering that, like what you've said, they asked for additional 4 million doses of vaccines. So they are confident that they can achieve the 50% of the population in Metro Manila by end of August.
Right, looks like people are wanting to get vaccinated nowadays. How many more COVID-19 vaccine doses can we expect to arrive here in the Philippines in the coming weeks or days?
Well, Vaccine Star Carlito Galvez said that we're expecting millions of doses to be delivered within the week and in the next few weeks. He enumerated the figures. But then, just to summarize, he is expecting about 20 to 25 million doses of vaccines by September. He said that we have already procured, or we have already gained more than our target of about 140 million doses of vaccines. He said that approximately we can achieve about 190 million doses by the end of this year, so it's a good sign.
All right, and moving on to other vaccine brands, Mase, when will Pfizer and Moderna be receiving full authorization for their respective COVID-19 vaccines?
Sean, based on reports from the U.S., the U.S. FDA expects that the full authorization for Pfizer can be issued by next week. Now, they're still waiting for the Moderna brand. As to the local development, we still have to wait for the approval of FDA. After the approval of its origin, it still has to undergo in a process, so we still have to wait for the target timeline.
All right, and as soon as now, are there already talks on allowing the private sector to buy or procure their own COVID-19 jabs without entering or without having to enter into a tripartite agreement with the national government. And I hope we can see this happening soon, Masa. What's a final word?
Yeah, yes, Sean. But for now, they still maintain the process that the private entities and even the local government units can only acquire or procure vaccines through tripartite agreements. Secretary Galvez explained earlier that maybe since the national government has already procured or has already acquired more than our target doses of COVID vaccines, maybe the LGU can take their time before entering another tripartite agreement, because there might be conflict with the COA considering our supply now. So for now, the government still maintains that the procurement of vaccines by the private sector, even LGU, should undergo a tripartite agreement.
All right, now another question, still vaccine related, Ms. Will our vaccine rollout be in any way affected by the shutdown of Malampaya, which I understand is going to be for 20 days?
Malacanang assured the public that the vaccine rollout won't be affected by the maintenance operation of Malampaya. The reason behind this is because of the season. Usually where the country is experiencing its the peak of demand for electricity or for power every summer season. But since it's not summer anymore, the government is confident that we will have enough supply of power, so the vaccine rollout won't be affected in any way.
Right, moving on to another topic. Has Malacanang reacted to this PhilHealth circular that is threatening to suspend claims to hospitals that are supposedly involved in fraudulent activities? Any clarity on this?
Well, considering that presidential spokesperson Harry Roque is one of the authors of the universal health care, he was a bit emotional when giving his comment about this issue on the circular issued by the PhilHealth. He actually asked the PhilHealth not to pursue with this new circular, and he actually asked rather the PhilHealth to pay the legitimate claims of both private and public hospitals, especially now that it's pandemic, because if we read the provisions of the universal health care, the majority of the provisions rely on the PhilHealth. So it's very important for the private sectors to get their claims, especially now that it's pandemic, so that they can continue their operations and they can continue to entertain especially COVID patients. He actually questioned the leadership or the management of PhilHealth. How come that despite the issue on corruption, only one official of PhilHealth were removed or was removed from post, and this particular official even resigned. If you remember, Sean, other officials of PhilHealth, despite the corruption issue, were only suspended. So Secretary Roque was questioning what happened to these issues, because they have to prevent the threat of a private hospital association that they will disengage themselves from PhilHealth by end of this year if they push through with a circular that they issued last week.
All right, thank you so much for all those updates. Stay safe. Maricel Halili reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. And the health department has observed a higher level of transmission of the Delta COVID variant in some regions. In today's DOH briefing, Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire said that Delta appears to be spreading at the community level in Metro Manila and Calabarzon. However, she was quick to clarify that they need to look further into the linkage of infections before they can officially declare community transmission. Over the weekend, Undersecretary Vergeire said that the Philippine Genome Center confirmed a higher level of COVID-19 transmission based on the results of their gene sequencing. Despite this, the DOH is now leaning towards localized lockdowns instead of wild-scale restrictions, which have proven ineffective, according to Vergere.
When we were trying to analyze together with our experts, looks like it's not really being effective anymore. Mas magiging effective at mas magiging advantageous para po sa ating lahat kung bababaan natin ng konti pero magga-granular lockdowns tayo.
We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. One political analyst believes that Manny Pacquiao's loss to Yordenis Ugas puts him in a tough spot as a politician, possibly vying for a higher post in the 2022 elections. Mayan Los Baños is reporting to us live from Rizal for more details. Man, how is Pacquiao's loss seen to affect his political plans for 2022?
Yes, you know, Sean, a political analyst says that Senator Manny Pacquiao's camp might find it difficult to mobilize supporters for his political campaign next year after losing in his latest boxing bout with Cuban Yordenis Ugas. Attorney Michael Yusinko from the Ateneo Policy Center said a win could have boosted Pacquiao's chances in the 2022 national elections because of the excitement that it could have brought to the Filipinos. Although Pacquiao maintained this image of being a fighter to the people, Yusinko said the issue right now is how long that image would last. Yusinko noted that one of the obvious reasons why the senator entered the ring again after a 2-year hiatus is to boost his image. The political analyst said Pacquiao wanted to set himself apart from other traditional politicians and wants to pull off an image of someone who literally fights for the country's pride. But the emotional high from this fight won't last long, Yusinko said. Soon, people won't see him as a boxer, but rather a senator who needs to be asked the difficult questions should he run for the presidency. While Pacquiao's plans are still hazy at the moment, Yusinko said the first thing he should do when he returns home is to settle the infighting among PDP Laban members. Sean, let's listen to what Attorney Yusinko has to say.
Pinakamatingkad na sentimiento is yung you have nothing more to prove. Di ba? So ano yan, double meaning yan, di ba? Na Manny, ikaw pa rin yung pambansang kamao, you have nothing to prove. At yung isang meaning doon is ah, hindi ka na hindi ka na dapat tumakbong pagka-presidente, di ba? Parang champion ka na namin at let's leave it at that.
Sean, the PDP Laban faction led by Secretary or Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi also released a statement saying they share the nation's pain in Pacquiao's loss. But whatever the outcome is, they say Pacquiao is already a champion in the Filipinos' hearts. Sean?
Man, thank you so much for that update. That was News 5's Menlas Baños joining us live from Rizal. Right, the provincial government of Pampanga has approved the request of the PBA to resume the Philippine Cup in Bacolor. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall said they are planning to continue the games at the Don Honorio Ventura State University, pending the approval of the school president. PBA teams will be leaving Metro Manila today in order to start practice sessions tomorrow. Commissioner Marshall has yet to disclose the specific date for the resumption of the games. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.
Meanings that you have to look